you have to hand it to Fianna Fáil. They don't give in as easily as a lot of other people. Today was an amazing day, not because our campaign to get rid of this corrupt government won, but because we've seen one con job thrown on top of another by spectacle. The image of all of them standing together in their suits, well dressed, and sounding like trying to sound like statesmen was nothing more than spectacle designed to buy time. And I hope it doesn't work. I hope that people listening to this don't need to hear what I'm saying. I hope I'm talking to converted. But I know that some people out there, because I was talking to so many people today, think that this is a victory. They said they will call an election. They did not say when, but they made clear that it will be after they have finished stitching us up, parcel wrapped, for the IMF and the ECB, for the vultures who are going to come in and asset strip the country, reduce our standard of living. Some people think that the IMF is something to be welcomed because Fianna Fáil appear to be indecisive and waffling. That's not what is going on. Fianna Fáil are waffling and appearing indecisive because they have been playing for time. If they told us how bad things were, they would be gone already. So they bluster while they put the next step in place to keep the ball rolling as long as they can. They said that they will work together with the Greens over the next weeks and months. Months. That is enough time to continue stitching us up. They've been stitching us up for years. Back when Cowan was Minister for Finance, the blind eye was being turned. The regulator knew what was going on. He'd been warned. The Department of Finance would have known what's going on. It's ridiculous to think that they didn't. We have been kept in the dark. They've lied, they've hyped, they've panicked, they colluded. And now they want more time to finish the job. And they pretend that they're doing the thing that needs, and they've convinced some of the public that this is what needs to be done, that we must be responsible, that they are responsible, that this is the responsible thing to do. No, the people who are responsible are the ones who are responsible for the damage to our country. And let them take responsibility. Not just in some political, oh, I'm the leader and yes, I, no. Let them bloody well pay for it. Pay attention to the facts and not the spectacle, and don't be bamboozled by the talking heads, the experts who said, oh, we must do this, we can't offend the bondholders, we must be responsible. We are a nation of 4 million people. We are not in the business of bailing out bank holders. That's not what we do. It's not what I do. It's not what you do. We are not responsible. We did not get the financial regulator to turn a blind eye. We didn't let the banks breach their liquidity. We didn't give tax breaks to let developers roll the profits from one project into the next. We did not do that. The government decided to do that. Now that it's blown up in their faces, they want us to pay for it. They say, oh, but this is a good plan. All the leaders of Europe agree with it. Of course they do. They would much prefer to have the Irish taxpayer bail out these banks that are connected through interbank lending to the European banks. Because they don't want to ask their citizens to do it. You look what happens in France, and you look what happens in Greece when they ask the ordinary person to pay for somebody else's mistake. They get up in arms. Here, we've had a banking guarantee for years. We've bailed out Anglo. We've bailed out Irish banks that weren't even important to us. And people just get on Joe Duffy. and moan and write letters to the Irish Times with witty little phrases that make them seem clever and intelligent, but there's nothing clever, there's nothing intelligent about making witty remarks while at the same time somebody is robbing you. And there's nothing to cheer in that they say, oh, we'll go once we're finished. Because if you had a burglar in your house and he said, I'm going, but I haven't finished taking everything yet, you would not cheer. You would chase him out before he leaves you with nothing. And that is what we must do. Because this country is a country of 4 million people. It is not a business. I don't know about you. I have 3 children. I have a job. I'm not wealthy. I just have a job I work hard at. And when I come back, from what my taxes go, I don't mind if they're paying for schools. I don't mind if they're paying for hospitals. That's all fine. But I don't want my taxes to go to the IMF to pay off debts created by bankers who didn't share the profits with us. What I have left after tax goes to keeping a house, food and clothes for my children and providing for their future. The same is true of you, for your family. If you really buy into this soundbite, think about what you're doing. If you think that we must share the pain, look at your children or your brothers, your sisters, your parents, whoever it is that's going to be paying for it, for ridiculous corruption and recklessness at an official level. I have no interest in seeing my children educated in a crumbling prefab or wondering which one of my family members is going to be waiting on a trolley. Well, the people who did this, the bankers or the government ministers, can retire after the next election if they don't get in on great pensions, while we are screwed. If we're all told and goaded by the media, oh, we must do what's responsible. Who are you responsible for? You are responsible for yourself. The only person going to help you is the person you see in the mirror and other people who wake up to the same fact that they must help themselves. And you're responsible for your children and your family. None of us is responsible for Anglo, for those speculators, for those gamblers. They can go to hell. If you fancy taking what money, take your kids' lunch money and send it to them instead, fine, you do that. But that's not what most of us are going to do. If you prefer to stay on your knees, you do that. If you're afraid that if you get off your knees, somebody will say, oh, look, there's the troublemaker. If you're that easily put back from doing your duty to your family, then you deserve what's coming to you. And you can welcome the IMF. You can welcome the packages, the type of thing they've done in other countries. You can welcome the fact that the gas fields off the coast of Mayo that would bring a hell of a lot of money were given away. But you can just sit there and insult everybody who tries to do something. Or you can be one of those people and not be put off that the people who are insulting you, the people who are saying, oh, you're a troublemaker, you're not doing what the government wants, these responsible people, you can sit there and just wallow in it. But if you want to have a future for yourself in this country, not emigrating, and your children have a future, you have to get off your knees. We have to kick this government out now, and whatever government comes in next has to know that we can do the same to them. If we sit here and let them roll through this package, then they're out. Fine Gael Labour Queen will not rock the boat. They'll get an easy way in if we do not show our teeth. It is up to us. There is no point looking for a hero on the horizon. We have to do it. They are our employees, and we have to